Hey, how y'all doing out there today? Just want to take a little time to talk about the LG V10. Now, this device came out in 2015, and I gotta be honest, I absolutely loved this phone. And the main reasons why I love this phone, I love the size of the display. First of all, 5.7-inch display, Quad HD, even though it's not as good as Samsung's panel, but it's decent. 1440 by 2560 pixels, 550 pixels per square inch. You know, I like the display. It was big. I love this secondary display up here, which has my name on it, and also you can get your notifications, and also there's other settings, things you can access, apps and things like that. So that's the thing that drew me to it. Also, it has two cameras on the front. One is regular, one is wide angle, which is nice. The one camera on the back is very good. The video recording for this phone is very good, excellent actually. This phone has an IR blaster, which is something that Samsung and LG did a lot back in the day, but for some reason they both removed that from their phone, which I don't understand why. It was a nice convenience to have a way where you can control your TV, air conditioner, anything with an infrared sensor on it. You can control it with your phone, which was a nice feature. That's something I hope somebody, LG or Samsung brings back at some point. Of course, Huawei still puts IR blasters on some of their phones, which I think is a good thing. But unfortunately, they're currently banned by the United States. So, yeah. But also, another thing I loved about this phone is that it had expandable memory up to 256 gigs. It came with 64 gigs of onboard storage, 4 gigs of RAM, and also you can take the battery out and put a new battery in, which is something that no phone does anymore. All phones seal in their batteries. But this was a phone where you can still swap out the battery, and there's nothing faster how to get your phone powered back up than just taking out a battery and putting in another one. So that's a feature I hope makes a comeback at some point, even if it's giving up wireless charging or something. It's just a nice thing to have. It's the quickest way to get your phone charged up. Warp charging is good, but nothing's faster than just switching out the battery. Also, with the cameras, you have the 16 megapixel laser autofocus on the rear, 5 megapixel front camera. You have optical image stabilization, 4G LET. So, the phone had some really good specs. Now, unfortunately, with this phone, you're not going to get any updates. The last update I got for this was Marshmallow, so you're not getting any more of those updates as far as Android is concerned. And unfortunately, also the phone lags. And I like the phone, but it does lag, unfortunately. Another thing I failed to mention, which was one of my favorite features of this phone also, is the quad DAC that was put into this. Now, that just gives you such great sound with your headphones. Whether you have high quality headphones or just regular headphones, that quad HD DAC, not quad HD DAC, I'm sorry, that quad DAC really makes the sounds phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And that's something actually LG is known for, is great sound quality with their quad DAC built into their phones. So those are a few of my things I like the most about this phone. Was the second display, the of course, being able to expand the memory on it, take out the battery, IR blaster, and the size of the screen. So those are the things I like. This is not a horrible phone, but it does lag a little bit. You could pick one up for barely over $100, maybe 117, 130, some lower than that, depending on what you're looking for, depending on whether you want to refurbish, new or used. But it's dirt cheap at this point. It's a good backup phone if you need a backup phone. I'm not sure if you want to use it as a daily driver, only because it lags. Now, if the lagging don't really bother you that much, then I would say it's a good purchase. You're getting a whole lot for really cheap price. I mean, you're getting a whole lot with this phone. So overall, this phone is not horrible, but it just lags a bit. And for people that really use their phone heavily, they don't want to deal with a phone that's constantly lagging and slowing down on them. But other than that, I think it's still a decent phone with a decent screen. Like I said, you got really still good cameras on there. The video quality is very good. You can swap the battery out. You can expand the memory. You have the IR blaster. You have the quad DAC. So, it's not bad. Oh, and one thing I failed to mention, what made me fall in love with this phone. This phone was so well built. Steel rails on the side. I'm telling you, the phone it's the most durable phone I've ever owned. I mean, to this day, I have no scratches on this display. And I've had this rub keys up against it and no scratches whatsoever. No body damage whatsoever. This is the one phone you could actually use without a case. It's just that durable. Now, the only reason why I have a plastic case, clear case around it, because it affords me a little bit more grip. Some people don't like cases at all. But this is actually a phone that you could use without a case. You drop it, you ain't got to worry about breaking it. I've slammed this thing on hard surfaces, could not damage the phone at all. So I'm telling you right now, this is probably the most well-built, durable phone that LG has ever made. And they haven't made a phone like this since then. So that's another thing that I loved about this phone as well. But that's my take on the LG V10 in 2019. Remember, this phone came out in 2015, and I think it sold pretty well. I loved it, and I just wished it had dual speakers on it. The one speaker at the bottom is okay, but it's just average sounding at best. But overall, I really love this phone. So good secondary phone, backup phone, and but that's my take on it. You guys have a wonderful day. God bless. Peace.